Hello and welcome back to the Godot tutorial on a space shooter. In this part, we are going to create the lasers via custom signals. And let me straight away demonstrate what the issue is we have at the moment. Here we are back in Godot, and basically what I want to do is, inside of the level scene, I want to create new lasers. For that, we can actually create a node 2D right now with lasers. And onto this node, as a children, I want to add the lasers, like we have done for the meteors in the last part. Now for that, we already have a laser scene. So this one is totally fine. We can also add dynamically a scene to another scene, like we have done for the meteors. The issue we have, however, is that currently for the player, we have a separate scene, and in there, we are getting the input for the player. In there, I also want to have the shooting mechanic. Let's do it below move and slide. There I want to have shoot input. However, this is going to cause a problem because at the moment we are working inside the player scene, but we want to trigger something inside of the level. So we have to figure out how to get from the player to the level. And for that, we are going to create a custom signal. At the moment, we always relied on the inbuilt signals of any kind of node. For example, in the Meteor, the signal we have worked on is body entered. But you can also create custom signals. And basically what we are going to do is if the player is pressing shoot or something like that, then inside of the level, the player is going to emit a signal that we are then going to capture. And I think all of that sounds quite complicated, but ultimately it is fairly simple. Let's get started straight away. So, inside of player.gd, at the moment we only have a single variable, but besides that, we can also create a signal, which you do via the signal keyword. We could simply call this one the laser. Once we have that, if I now go back to the level scene and click on the player, we now have a laser signal. And this I can connect to the level scene and connect it, and then we can do something. For now, let's simply print shoot laser. All we now have to figure out is how to emit this laser signal. For that, all we really need is laser.emit. And then, if I now run the code, we're getting shoot laser constantly because we are emitting this signal on every frame of the game, or every time the process function does something, which is all the time. So instead of emitting this all the time, we only want to do it if the player clicks on the spacebar. For that, inside of project, I want to go to project settings and then go to input map. In there, I have to create a new action. Let's call it shoot. And this one could be the spacebar. I suppose just to demonstrate that you can have multiple events in here, let's also go with control. And you could add as much as you want in here. I suppose for one more example, you could also go to mouse buttons and then go to left mouse button. You would always get the same action. And now I want to check if input and is action just pressed. And the action I'm looking for is shoot. By the way, in case you're wondering, the difference between is action just pressed and is action pressed is that is action just pressed is only triggering once, even if you keep the key down. I can actually demonstrate in just a second. Right now, we are going to emit the signal if the action is just pressed. So if I run the code, we get nothing by default, but if I press space, we are shooting a laser and this happens once, even if I hold down the space bar. But if I change this to is action pressed, then this is going to continuously return true if we are holding down the key. So if I now press space, we get shoot laser constantly. Depending on your circumstances, one may be better than the other, and with a bit of experience, you know which one is appropriate. But anyway, with that, we can emit a custom signal. What you can also do is give this one a couple of parameters. And for that, you want to do two things. Number one, when we are creating the signal, you want to add brackets and then specify what parameters you want. In my case, for example, I want to have a position. And then if we look at the inspector on the right, there we now have laser and position with a variable. And to satisfy this parameter, when we are emitting the signal, we have to give the position. For now, I simply want to get the position of the ship itself. And with that, when we go back to the level, we now have to add one more parameter, which is going to be the position. And once we have that, I can print the position, run the game again, and now whenever I press space, we get the current position of the player. And this should go to almost 1280 and to 0 and 0 in the top left, at least roughly. Now, this is the kind of thing that can get a little bit confusing when you're getting started with Godot, where you have more and more scenes that connect in more and more ways. So this kind of system is something you definitely want to practice, where you can create scenes from code and you can make different scenes connect via signals that you either created yourself or that come with the node. Making various scenes communicate with each other is one of the main parts of Godot. Be patient with this. With a bit of practice, it becomes very intuitive. But alright, with that, we can actually use that system to spawn a bunch of lasers. And this kind of system we have already seen with the meteors. So, number one, I want to create a laser scene, which once again is going to be a packed scene, which we are going to get via the load function, and I want to get the laser.tscn. With that, we have the laser scene. After that, and let me expand the code here a bit, I want to work inside of onPlayerLaser, because in there, first of all, we have to create an instance of the laser, which I'm going to call laser. I want to get the laser scene and create an instance of it via instantiate. After that, I want to get the lasers node, the one we have just created that is going to contain all of the lasers, this one. And on this one, we're going to add a child, which is going to be the laser we just created. After that, we will not need the print statements anymore, but instead what I do want to do is update the position of the laser. And this you can do right away. So laser.position here is totally fine. I want to set this to the position of the ship, the one we are getting via the parameters. And now, if I run all of this again, and every time I press space, we are getting another laser. And that is working pretty good. Although we have to make a few minor updates. Number one, we can create way too many lasers way too fast. So that's not great. There should be a bit more of a cooldown. On top of that, I don't want to spawn the laser in the middle of the ship. I want to spawn it a bit in front of the ship. Let's get started with that part first of all. That I want to spawn a laser not in the center of the ship, but rather a bit in front of the ship. And this you could address in a couple of ways. I suppose one way would be when you are emitting the signal with the position, you can give this one an offset. So for example, you could subtract a vector 2 with 0 on the x-axis and then maybe 50 pixels on the y-axis. If I now run this again, the laser is a bit in front of the player. While this does work, it doesn't feel particularly elegant because I want to have a lot of control over where the starting position is. So a better way for this would be another node, which is called a marker 2D. And this node is fairly simple. It is like a node 2D, a simple cross. So if you hover over it, you can see what node you have, marker 2D. This marker 2D in the inspector doesn't do very much. All you can really see is that we can set the size of the cross. So we can make it easier to see, and that's about it. The way you are using this one in Godot is that it's simply a point that you can have as some kind of starting position. In my case, I want this to be the laser start position. And let me fix my typo. That looks much better. So this is just a point, and this point we can set to, well, wherever we want. I want to have it roughly in front of the ship. And now, when we are emitting the signal, I do not want to emit the position of the ship. Instead, I want to get the laser start position, and from this one, get the position itself. Although this by itself is not going to work. If I now run the code, and well, if I press space, nothing is going to happen. So what is the problem? To understand that, let me go back to level and then print the position. So print pause what we're getting from the player. And if I now press this, we always get 0 and 53. What happened here? Basically, this 0 and 53, if we go back to the player 2D scene and look at the laser start position under transform, we get 0 and 53. These numbers do not change because they are relative. One really important thing you have to understand about Godot is that when you have a child node, its position is always relative to the parent. And in our case, the marker 2D is always 50 pixels or 53 pixels away from the center point. And this number doesn't change because the laser start position moves along with the entire scene. As a consequence, this number is a constant and never changes. Fixing that though is quite easy. All we have to do inside of the script, and we want to look at the laser, we do not want to get the laser start position and relative position. Instead, we want to get the global position. This is the position of where the node is actually in the scene tree. And this is absolute. It's not relative to the parent. And if I now run this again, we get the expected output. So that feels significantly better. With that, I also don't have to print the position anymore. And there's just one more thing that I want to do. And that is, inside of the player shouldn't be able to shoot as fast as he or she can press the space button. There should be, let's say, a half-second cooldown. And this is going to be your exercise. I want you guys to create a half-a-second cooldown for the laser. How you are going to achieve that is entirely up to you. Although, if you followed along so far, it should involve a timer and a signal. But pause the video now and see how far you get. Back inside of the player script, I want to add one more variable. This one should be a global one, and I'm going to call it can_shoot, which has to be a boolean that by default is true. And that I want to use inside of this if statement. The player should only be able to shoot if we're getting the shoot action, and can shoot is true. And then if that is the case, I want to set can shoot to false. That way, at the moment, we should only be able to shoot once. Let's try, and I can shoot once, but that is about it. What we now have to figure out is some kind of timer that sets this can shoot back to true. And for that, inside of the player scene, I'm going to add a timer node. I believe I called this one the laser timer. And for this one, we want to have a wait time of 0.5 seconds. It should be one shot, but it shouldn't auto start. And importantly, we want to work with timeout and connect it to the player. And basically, every time this timer timeouts, we want to set can shoot back to true. And this is almost going to work. If I run the code though, it is not. We can only still shoot the laser once. The problem here is that the laser doesn't start automatically, so we have to manually start it. For the meteors, by the way, this was different because this timer auto-started. Now, starting a timer is really simple. All you need is the node itself, so laser timer in our case, and then run the start method. If I now run the code again, I can keep on pressing space, and we get a laser every half second. So with that, we have a cooldown that we can control. Perfect. We are nearly done. We just have to move the laser up, and then we have, well, nearly a game. So for that, inside of the laser scene, I want to give the laser a script. Scenes laser.gd is perfectly fine, and let's go with the default template. I want to create that, and we don't really need ready, but we do need process. All that we are going to do in here is update the position. In fact, we only care about y part of the position. And this we want to reduce by a certain amount. Let's call this the speed multiplied by delta time. The speed is going to be a global variable, speed, that by default could be, let's say, 500. Also, this I do want to export, so we can change it right away in the inspector. There we have 500, and now if I run all of this, the laser moves up, which feels quite a bit nicer. Very nice. Also, there's one thing that annoys me a little bit, and that is if you look at the bottom, we have debugger and 1, which tells us that if we look at errors, the parameter delta is never used in the function process. And if you double click on that, you can see where Godot is having a problem. Basically, inside of the player script, we don't need to use delta because move and slide implements it automatically. And Godot doesn't like it that we have a parameter that we don't use. To fix that, you want to add an underscore before delta, and then Godot is happy. So now if you run the game, the debugger doesn't complain anymore. Cool, that's another important part covered.